So
I probably missed it today.
2002, we had I'm looking at honorable mentions for what I think they should be. This is a little out of order, but whatever.
I'm going to look at this list, and I'm probably going to go off, aren't I?
Maybe. Resident Evil, like the Mila Jovovich ones, not the greatest.
She was great.
Not the greatest.
Those movies weren't, but
the first
she did quite well.
The first 2 or 3 were decent, but then they just got
You bitch.
They got off of they just went way too action packed and they were just really bad. Rollerball. Please tell me you know Rollerball.
I know Rollerball.
That movie, I don't know why, but I loved that movie when I was a kid. That movie was wild. And Signs, because that was like, I wouldn't say my first like sci-fi-ish movie when it came out, but pretty close.
Signs was pretty good.
The top 4 though are 8 Mile. I mean,
got one shot.
Dude, the amount of times that I've gotten sucked in to watching 8 Mile when like I'm just like scrolling through like a channel on the TV and I'm like, oh, 8 Mile's on. I'll just put that on. And I'm just laser focused watching it. And I'm like, well, I got to finish this now.
Have you seen the reel where they put that scene from 8 Mile to the J.G. Wentworth jingle?
Yeah.
J.G. Wentworth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like loosely it's loosely based on like Eminem's life.
I don't know how loose it is. I mean,
I know they like
it's
changed,
definitely
they changed certain things, but it's not like a straight like.
Well, no, it's a dramatization.
Scene. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Cheddar Bob actually shot himself. Like that.
Dude, the rap battles in this are top tier.
Snoop Dogg has got a fucking boob job.
Yeah, it's a movie that I'll just forever get sucked into watching, just because the rap battles are top tier. They're so great.
This guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence.
Jackass, the movie Jackass, not
the original,
the original movie,
the original Jackass, Johnny Knoxville.
Yes. This was huge for the time.
Yeah, it was so stupid, though.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was. Dude, how can you call any of that not stupid?
Well, it's stupid as in the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's entertaining, yes. But
like,
it's...
That was like a pivotal point for like that group of dudes making a literal like feature film movie.
Dude, I guarantee you that movie is exactly why those dumbasses at my high school flipped those cars.
100%.
Like, that is exactly what they were like, oh, we could act a fool and not get in trouble for it.
100%. Gold Member. My favorite Austin Powers movie, dude.
It looks like a baby's arm holding an apple.
Dude, the amount of times I've watched this, the amount that I've quoted it, every time I watch it, I have to just quote.
Shagadelic, baby.
Dude, I love when he has the twins.
Oh, God.
And he like looks back and forth. He's like, and then Basil comes in. He's like, twins, Basil, twins. And he's like, it's about your father. And he's like, very heavy, man. And then he sings the "Daddy Wasn't There" song.
Oh, God.
Daddy wasn't there.
So, what? Remind me, because I'm a little blurry on this one. Was this the one that had the tent scene in it, or was that the other Austin Powers?
The tent scene, like
tent. like camping tents, like the scene where they're in the tent and and the silhouette is there and like
No, this is that one.
Yeah.
Mini Me comes in and he grabs the apple and he's tossing it and it shows him snatching it and takes a bite and drops it down. Yeah, dude. And when Austin Powers' dad finds him and he's like, "Oh my God, you're a tripod," and he's like leaning on it. Beyonce was in this one. Yeah, dude. This
no.
and Fat Bastard.
You've
Oh my God, dude. This is an absolute classic, especially for me. And then the fourth one,
if it's not the last one in the list, we got a problem.
We'll put Drumline, because I'm pretty sure that was the one. Nick Cannon's like only good movie.
Dog shit movie, but it was awesome.
It wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty good.
It did a lot to bring that into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Which I think was important. Like, I look at the stuff that they have for drumlines now in schools, and it's just flooded. I mean, so many kids are playing.
Dude, the people that post on the short form media where they're doing like all these tricks and stick tricks and flip tricks, and it's crazy.
It's gotten wild.
But
it's gotten
that was like
wild.
the first iteration that I saw of like anything like that. If I
don't know if they made one after that. So,
if I had to choose one, oh man, it's a toss up between 8 Mile and Goldmember. I think because I like so many comedy movies, I'm just gonna have to say Goldmember.
It's Goldmember. 8 Mile was good, but like the context of 8 Mile, you know, it's really based around Eminem, which isn't a problem, but it makes it almost more of like documentary-ish,
so kind of
in dramatized form
Yeah.
than, you know, those rap battles. I think the audio of 8 Mile is really better than
Dude,
the actual.
I could listen to the rap battles
Yeah,
legitimately.
exactly. But, you know, Goldmember is literal gold for comedy.
I want to paint as you who gold.
Damn.
The taste of it, the smell of it. Oh, I love it.
Oh, Jake.
2003. Let me see if I had any for honorable mentions, since I'm an unprepared, unprofessional man. Yeah.
I'll name the honorable mentions.
Okay.
So,
There has
based.
If
Okay.
you don't say the one, I'm just gonna choke.
Holes
Holes is a
is definitely an honorable mention. It was
Yeah.
based on a book.
Stanley
that was,
Yelnats.
Yeah. That was foundational for so many kids, like growing up, to read that.
We read the book in school, and then to see it in movie form.
Yeah,
that was-
and with John Voight and Shia LaBeouf.
yeah, dude.
Like, they had an all-star cast.
And it was good. Like, it was a good movie.
Well, it was bound to be good. It was based on the book, and the book was just fantastic. I
Yeah.
think, you know, if you have a good book, movies are usually...
Well.
Give me an example.
Running with Scissors.
Fair.
That movie was awful, but the books were fantastic. Augustin Burroughs, top notch.
On another honorable mention is going to be Malibu's Most Wanted.
Jamie Kennedy.
That is a kicker.
Yep.
It's if you want to just kind of sit down and laugh at dumb shit,
That's
that's a great one. And I'll just let you pick it so I don't pick the wrong one.
The Rundown.
Yep.
Sean William Scott and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. That one is a very good movie. I always get Walking Tall and The Rundown mixed up. Sean William Scott is a guy that's hunting for like a treasure in like a temple. It's called the Gato.
Right.
And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is hunting down Sean William Scott. Oh my God, why? The people's names that I draw blanks on blow my mind. Christopher Walken is like the guy hunting after the Gato too, and he's got like the island basically behind his back, and they're armed to the teeth.
That was a good
super
one.
good movie. It's got comedy in it. Sean William Scott. I mean,
Action.
It's action. It's really the best part is when they meet up with Rosario Dawson.
Yep.
And they're swimming into the waterfall, and she says that to not pee in the water or else a thing will slide up his pintu, and he goes, not my pintu.
That's funny. But we actually got one more honorable mention. For my kid, because the first time she saw this, she loved it, and it's much older than she is. Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that's a classic. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
I can't wait to see your daughter watch that for the first time.
Yeah,
if she hasn't already.
She's been watching, like more. We've started to kind of like let her. She watched Edward Scissorhands, which is one of Alicia's favorite movies. She thought that was really good. That's a pretty kid. I wouldn't say it's like a movie that she shouldn't watch. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
the message is fantastic.
I mean, she's about at that age. Maybe let her watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
They're not even comparable.
No, not at all. But
yeah, I mean the message between with Edward Scissorhands, he's a robot with scissors for hands, and everybody judges him based on his looks, but he can do some really masterful things. He's going and cutting people's hair into like these crazy shapes and trimming the hedges and this and that, and then everybody starts to accept him, and then he tries to help somebody, ends up hurting them, and then they all turn on him and misunderstood, and then they run him off, and it's from the perspective of Winona Ryder's character. She's telling the story to her daughter about how she fell in love with the guy in the castle.
What's the one movie with the house?
There's a lot of those.
Like, it's a kid's movie, but it's not horror, but it kind of is horror. It's this girl in a house. I think she has snow globes. Am I dreaming this? Like,
maybe.
Oh, this is weird. I'll have to ask my daughter what it was that she was watching.
So we'll go into the top 4 now. This top 4 is pretty solid. Grind. This is an absolute 100% bona fide classic on all fronts. I love this movie. It's a skateboard movie. It's so good.
It's good. I don't know about bona fide classic, but
oh my God. When they're in the honeymoon suite and they're all like, they've got 2 guys in the bed, 2 guys sleeping on the floor, and someone farts and they're like, Matt, and he laughs, and then someone else farts and they're like, Matt, and he goes, that wasn't me. And then the guy that owns the hotel is in the bed and he's like, sorry. And they all like run out.
Do you remember Without a Paddle?
Yeah. That's in maybe not. Maybe we might have passed that one already.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I shouldn't.
Get the hell out of here. No. How did you
American Wedding. This might be my favorite like American Pie movie. It's when Jason Biggs gets married to the girl from band camp, and they try and keep Stifler away from the wedding, and he gets to keep the rings, and he's so focused on talking to that bridesmaid that he drops the rings, the dog eats the rings, and he's waiting for the dog to poop out the rings.
Is this the one where Finch does Stifler's mom?
Yes. And the dog finally poops out the rings, and he picks them up with the truffle thing, and the girl's parents see, and he eats it and shoves it in his mouth, and you
can't.
can see it all in his teeth.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really rich and creamy.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's a classic.
Stifler, your mom.
Because I think they have a... Oh, no, this is...
Hey, Finchy.
I think this is where the guys are spying on them. It's they spy on Stifler's mom, and she's in like the bathtub, and then you see Finch come up out of the suds, and they see that it was him, and they're like, "What?" This one is a must-watch during the holiday season. Bad Santa. The best scene in this movie is when he's eating at the food court, and the mom and son come up to him, and she's telling her son, like, go ahead, tell him what you want for Christmas. And he's like eating. He's got like some salad like hanging out of his mouth, and the kid like starts to talk to him, and he's like,
I'm on my fucking lunch break, okay?
Dude, there's one scene better than that though, but I don't know if I should go there.
hint at what it is.
I believe they were in a dressing room.
Oh my god. The kid that carved, he gives him, because he stays at his house with grandma, and he hands him this thing that he carved, and he's like, what is it? And he's like, it's a wooden pickle. And he's like, what's all over it? He's like, it's my blood from when I cut my hand. Oh my god. Dude,
You ain't gonna shit right for a week.
Billy Bob Thornton in this movie, dude. He killed this role of just being an absolute like piss drunk Santa. Dude, we try and watch it. Like, it's in our Christmas movie rotation. It's so good. And then one of the best collaboration movies, Freddy versus Jason. Dude, this movie is literally early 2000s in a nutshell. The soundtrack is early 2000s. The effects in this movie and like the way that it's like the way that it's shot, the way that it has like these certain scenes, it's the epitome of the early 2000s. And the best part is when I think it's Kelly Rowland. She's talking to Freddy. She's like, "Hey, Freddy!" And he's like walking towards her, and she's like, "You got those little, small things, and Jason's got this big old thing." And Freddy's like, and she turns around, and Jason just obliterates her against a tree, and it's the funniest scene. It's not supposed to be funny, but it is very comical. It's such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Check. 1, 2.
Out of these four, though,
American Wedding.
I think I'm going to have to choose Grind. I have to choose Grind. Team Pup and Suds, baby.
Do you really want me to say it?
Go ahead.
The only reason you picked Grind is because you understand what it's like to do that.
Maybe to an extent. But it's a good movie. I love it.
And by that, I mean sleep with other men in a hotel room.
I've done that.
Well.
2004. Honorable mentions here.
Tread carefully, sir. I will interject as necessary.
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. That's a classic.
Dude, I love those little White Castle burgers.
Is that the one that has Neil Patrick Harris in it?
I think so.
Yeah. This is a classic. Like, I would consider it a stoner comedy. Like,
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, it's not
Yeah.
even a consider. It's like, that's... You can rubber stamp that
Dude,
one.
It's this one where they go to that dude's... what's his name? He's, like, the real, like, deformed guy. And he has, like, a smoking hot wife. And they're both, like, looking at him. And then they're, like, talking amongst themselves. And then you hear him, and he's like, I heard everything you said. Me and Alicia still quote that, like, I heard everything you said. To this day, dude. It's so good. Team America World Police. That, dude. Matt Stone, Trey Parker. The level of...
It's funny.
If they tried to even, like, put anything like that out nowadays, they would be crucified. And it's not they would be burned at the stake.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's just the most absurd push the envelope kind of comedy. It's the it's not animation, it's the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Absolutely ridiculous. But it's my kind of comedy, and I have to give it the honorable mention.
All right, I'm going to honorably mention a couple.
Go ahead.
Without a Paddle.
It's definitely not my favorite. It's good, but it's definitely not my... I'd like Seth Green, and I like Dax Shepard and Matthew Lillard.
So it's like this, the three guys get away to get back to their youth because they've been friends forever. Mm-hmm. They go camping and they get into trouble. It's not an original plot line, but the execution is pretty funny. I can't believe that this is an honorable mention, but Dodgeball.
It was a toss-up.
Dude, that's not a toss-up. That's not a toss-up at all.
It's a toss-up.
No, man. I see what you got on that list. They don't know yet, but I see it.
I will choke you if you have anything bad to say about that movie.
Which one? The second one or the third one?
Okay. That's none of them. So
exactly. I agree with 1 and 4, but
okay. All right, we're good.
Dodgeball should be on that list because if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
It was originally, but I think these other 4 kind of beat yeah. I mean, Dodgeball is an absolute classic movie, and it's funny as all hell.
Girl Next Door.
Yup. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I like that dude as an actor. What's his name? Emilio something?
Emilio Estevez?
Is it Estevez? No, that's the guy from the
Esteban?
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, that's Mighty Ducks. I don't know. I don't know any other Emilio.
I want to say his name's like Emilio or something.
Emilio.
Or maybe that's his last. I can't remember.
Emilio.
He was in Alpha Dog, too. He was also in Alpha Dog. And he was in Lone Survivor as well. He's a good actor.
My last honorable mention is Napoleon Dynamite, which really should also be on that list.
It doesn't really hold up too well. It really doesn't. Like, it has the nostalgia factor because when that movie came out, like, that was the movie to watch, and everybody was quoting it, but...
It's context.
If you go back to it, you're just kind of like, this is just kind of stupid.
All right, well, while you go through this list, I'm going to just interject quotes from Napoleon Dynamite.
Tina, you fat lord.
Dude, I was watching a reel of Between Two Ferns with Steve Carell.
That's a good,
and he's just like, do you ever, like swim out and people just think there's an island there? I'm not that fat, man.
The top 4. Anchorman.
Yes.
Definitely one of Will Ferrell's best. And it is... 60% of the time it works every time.
I see you're drinking 1%.
Milk was a bad choice. I like when he meets Veronica and don't act like you're not impressed. Oh my god, dude. That is an actual... I love when he's warming up at the news desk. He's just
Pedro offers you his protection. Dude, Will Ferrell killed it in that.
yeah. Paul Rudd, and the other Steve Carell, and then the other guy that's always in like that kind of movie.
That guy.
That guy. Yeah, that's classic. We've got The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. I think this movie needs a little bit more recognition because it's like the concept of this movie is really insane. He basically can like revisit. He reads his journals. He journals like, you know, his day-to-day or his memories or whatever, and he can read the journal and go back to that moment, and he can alter it so when he wakes up in the present, it altered the past, and now he's in a different present. And then he realizes that he needs to change the present again, and he goes back and tries to change it, but he's trying to like save everybody, and it ends up just damaging him in the long run.
That movie was too deep for me.
Dude, it's such it will like
I can't see Ashton Kutcher in that light.
It will mess you up, like just thinking about, you know, that concept and like what you would do in that scenario. But it's such a good like concept of just storyline and how they perceive it and how they like words stuff.
Vote for Pedro.
If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. I think it's kind of underrated in like the, I don't even know what, like thriller like sci-fi-ish.
And it's a thriller.
Then we've got White Chicks, the Wayans brothers again.
I never saw White Chicks.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
I never saw White Chicks.
What? You're lying to me.
I never saw White Chicks.
You've never seen White Chicks?
Well, nope. I mean, I have, but I haven't like watched it.
And just when I think that you couldn't disappoint me anymore, you go and tell me that you haven't seen White Chicks.
Oh shit! Stay tuned. There's so much more that's gonna piss you off.
Oh my god, dude! Go watch this movie.
No,
it's the Wayans brothers. They're undercover cops, and they dress up like these two like rich white girls. And they have to like act like them and stuff like this. Dude, it is so ridiculous. And they have to befriend their friends. They look just ridiculous. And
why don't we just remake it?
Terry Crews hits on one of the Wayans brothers. And, like he buys a date with her. He spends like $100,000 on this date with her. And he takes her out, or takes him out. And dude, it's like one of like there's memes about that scene where Terry Crews is singing Vanessa Carlton, where he does the dun 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 dun.
I'm about to tell you that that's very off key, but
I wasn't trying to be on key.
Dun 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 dun. That's off key too, but
dude, you need to watch that movie.
I'll watch
it.
it.
So the Wayans brothers. That's all that needs to be said.
I'll watch it.
It's fantastic.
Blah, blah, blah.
Jersey Girl, another Kevin Smith classic. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, and George Carlin.
Jersey Girl is solid.
Dude, this movie needs to be talked about more.
The
story of this.
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified that.
Oh my god, it's heavy.
Yes.
Like, it gets me emotional. You know, busy city folk is what they would be, and Jennifer Lopez is Ben Affleck's wife in the movie and was probably his wife at the time. She dies during childbirth, and he's left to raise his daughter alone, and he struggles with that. His dad helps him. He tries to give her this big city life that he thinks that she wants, but it's what he wants, and she, they become close, but then they start to, conflict as she gets older, and then he starts to realize, like, it doesn't matter where we are and what I'm doing as long as I'm doing it with you, which as a dad pulls at the heartstrings. And the moment that really gets me is when he's talking to his daughter, and he's like, it's the moment that after he had his big screw up, he's trying to, basically like win her back, or, and he goes, "You're the only thing that I was ever good at." That will tug at the heartstrings so hard. Such a good movie. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Kevin Smith, again, strikes gold. So good. Out of the top 4, though.
Anchorman!
I gotta say Jersey Girl.
Jay-Z Gale.
I gotta say Jersey Girl.
As
a dad, that movie just holds more weight, and it's just one of those ones that,
Hey,
especially having a daughter.
LJ, go down to the pizzeria and grab us a pizza, why don't you?
We already had pizza.
All right, well then get the fuck back in the dumpster.
2005.
Time to go for a ride.
The honorable mentions for 2005 are going to be Lords of Dogtown. That movie, it's about the the origin story of like the California skateboarding scene, and Stacy Peralta and all of those famous skateboarders back in the day, and how skateboarding basically became what it is today, figuratively speaking. It's a really good movie. That dude that played in Alpha Dogs and Lone Survivor and the Girl Next Door, he's in this movie. Really, really solid movie. If you're a skateboarding fan, watch it. It's a classic. I love this movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but if I see it like on a streaming service, I definitely am just clicking it to watch, because I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
I tried to do an Ollie last year.
That's a bad idea.
Oh, it was horrible.
That's a bad idea. The other honorable mention, The Ringer, with Johnny Knoxville. That one's... When the fuck did we get ice cream? I watched you. You took my CD and you scratched it in broad daylight.
Wait, you have ice cream?
Dude. Johnny Knoxville plays a guy who tries to compete in the Special Olympics by pretending he's mentally, handicapped.
I know, it's why I hate this movie, but
it's a really funny movie.
It's funny, I just don't...
Johnny Knoxville.
It's a line for me.
That's where you draw the line,
There's
really?
a line for me, and that line is it. Thanks, Alicia.
Walk the Line is another honorable mention.
All right, so funny. Story time. So there was this girl in high school.
There was this girl.
Meant a lot to me. And for our first date, I suggest I'd asked her to the movies.
Did you see Walk the Line?
We didn't know what we were seeing until we got there, and I was looking at the list, and I'm like, why don't we go see Walk the Line? Not a clue. It was a Johnny Cash movie. Neither of us were country music people at the time. Really just like the worst possible movie, but I wound up taking that girl to prom.
Oh, that's cute.
I was with her for a while, on into college, and so she was basically my high school sweetheart, and it all started with Walk the Line. And she's very successful today. She's doing well for herself. She's married, has a couple kids.
Very nice. I love this movie.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix plays a very good Johnny Cash.
And Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon plays a pretty good June Carter.
Pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. She wasn't that great. It was rough.
It was a good movie. But
it was a good movie. But
Joaquin Phoenix is just a hell of an actor.
Call her? Yes, absolutely. I'm sure her husband would be very happy about that. The weird part, Alicia, is I can still remember her number.
There's a movie that I just recently saw that I'm going to throw on the honorable mentions because it is a phenomenal movie called Two for the Money.
One for the show?
It's Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey, very young Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey is a high school sports high school football quarterback, I think. Gets injured, can't play anymore. He just studies the game and he works for this small little company making sports bets. So this guy calls him up and says, "Hey, I want you to work for me. I'll pay you this, a bunch of money. There's a flight in your drawer. Come work for me." And it's Al Pacino, and he flies out to work for him, and he makes predictions to try and get people to call in and bet on games and stuff like that. And he hits all this. He just knows what to call, and he knows everything. He's like a golden pony, and he can't do any wrong. So he starts, changing his persona to be like TV ready, and like they make him, live this luxury lifestyle. He starts dressing in suits and driving like a Mercedes, and he's like a cocky dude and this and that, and it starts to take over his life basically, and he gets too cocky, and Al Pacino has a very big gambling problem, and they end up like having a fallout, and Matthew McConaughey catches Al Pacino in the lie, and Al Pacino has like this heart condition during the movie, and at the end, Matthew McConaughey is now like a humble guy, back to his roots sort of guy. Really, really good movie. I didn't know it existed until one of the guys brought up a garbage bag full of movies to the cabin, and they just threw it in, and I was glued to it. It was such a good movie.
Shocker that Al Pacino portrays somebody who had a problem with addiction. Real surprising there.
It's a really, really good movie. And another honorable mention I think I'm going to throw in here is Constantine.
Oh, so good.
That's a really good movie. Again, Keanu Reeves.
Before we move on from Al Pacino, though, say hello to my little friend.
He said that he would love to revisit the character in Constantine. I think John Constantine, is that the guy's name?
Yeah, I would really love it if Keanu would just revisit the chair by his pool.
Man, a lot of hate here. And I got to give another honorable mention to The Devil's Rejects, because that's a really good Rob Zombie movie. And
one for the money,
and Sherry Moon Zombie.
3 to get ready, and 4 to go.
Okay, on to the top 4 here for 2005. We've got Waiting. Do you remember when this movie came out?
Damn.
Dude, when this movie came out, dude, it was all about just doing what they do in this movie to your friends.
Bro. what they did to that burger.
Yeah. Dane Cook is in this movie. I always forget.
Dane Cook is in it. What's his name is in it?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds. Like,
Justin Long's in it too. Wait. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Justin Long's in it. Dude, this movie is... Did you notice that I did what to your pizza what they did to that burger?
You lied to me.
Dude.
You lied to me.
That, I mean, this is the character that doesn't talk until the very end of the movie. He keeps getting interrupted. Till the very end, he finally goes off. Oh, Andy Milonakis is in this movie too.
Yes.
He's like one of the dishwashers. Dude, that... Man, I haven't watched that movie in a hot minute. I think I'm due to watch that. One of my favorite movies, Wedding Crashers. Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson.
Dude, that one, yes.
That's a really solid movie. The what's her name? The redhead that Vince Vaughn ends up with, who's just batshit crazy. when she has him in the bathroom and she's like cleaning his wound on his knee from when they were playing football, and he like says something that she doesn't like, and she just dumps all like the rubbing alcohol on it, and it's like stinging his knee, and then she gets on top of him and starts whipping her hair into his face. And I love when they're playing football, and he tackles. He's like, "Yeah, crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does."
It's true though.
I love when Vince Vaughn is the quarterback, and he's like, "Red 7, red 7, red 7." He's like, "I don't know what that means." He's like, "Just get on the other side."
Omaha.
Dude, Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn, like their chemistry in that movie is, I gotta think that they were like some scenes they were just firing off like just off the cuff.
A lot of them they do, like
Dude.
these comedies and stuff. I mean, like
The stuff that they were saying to each other.
well, like Parks and Rec, that one scene where they're talking about comebacks.
Oh my God.
He just drops that bomb,
I love that
and everyone's
show.
like, oh, "No,
Dude. Yeah, dude. Like, this is just... like, Vince Vaughn, the character that he plays in this movie, and the character that... Dude, it's just such a... It's so good.
And you turned him down in Dodgeball.
Yeah, it's not as good as Wedding Crashers. Wedding Crashers is miles ahead of Dodgeball. I stand by it.
I'm done.
We've got The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's a classic. No.
Right in the face.
Yeah, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That is Steve Carell. That was a absolute banger.
Yeah,
Seth Rogen.
freaking shithead.
Ow.
Dude, 40-Year-Old Virgin was hilarious, but I'm really worried.
Why?
Because in 5 years, people might think that's my, like, biography. It's like the docuseries, a documentary on me.
Dude.
They're not wrong.
I love the scene where he goes in to talk to, what's her face? And he's just asking her he's just answering with questions. I don't know. do you like to do it?
It's so good.
And when I think he's drunk, and he's got the camera, and he's like going down his pants. Is that him, or is that?
That's the other guy.
That's the other guy. When he gets the wax strips pulled off, Kelly Clarkson. That was like a thing that everybody yelled out in school. And then we've got Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I love this movie. The end of it is one of the best moments in all of Star Wars. It hits you home, dude. It's chef's kiss when Obi-Wan got the high ground and sliced old Anakin's legs off, and Anakin was still just filled with rage, and Obi-Wan was truly troubled.
You realize you just ruined that movie for everybody that didn't see it, right?
If you haven't seen it, then you've got an issue.
Dude, like...
But, dude...
I hate you!
Dude, when he says, like, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to do, like... Oh, God, why can I
You were supposed to bring light to the Force, not destroy it.
Yes.
Get shit together. Come on, you're supposed to like Star Wars.
Look at all the actors' names that I couldn't think of.
I grew up with all the damn toys, okay? I'm trying to, like, minimize that shit, not flaunt it.
It set up that whole relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin perfectly, and when they made the Obi-Wan show, it just made that scene just all the more powerful, because basically they have to do it all over again, because Obi-Wan is still haunted by, the fact that he had to kill his brother. Basically.
He didn't kill him, though.
Well, he had to, but what he assumed, he killed him.
No, Obi-Wan was a dumb son of a bitch because he didn't finish the job.
Because
he just created literally the worst Force to ever hit the galaxy.
Which, when dude, in the show, when he finds out that Anakin's still alive, and he's just like, the feeling of dread that falls over him is like, wait, what?
Well, and it's kind of like, how did you not know that already? I thought you were in tune with the Force, asshole.
Well,
like, you can sense that.
Anakin was so strong with the Force that he could have basically, like, did what Luke did and shut himself off from it. Or hid himself, basically. Because that's what Luke did in, what is it? The Last Jedi.
No, he did it first in The Force Awakens.
Was that in The Force Awakens?
The Force Awakens was...
The
whole premise of The Force Awakens was looking for Luke.
I know that.
The Last Jedi was like, oh shit, we found you. And he's like, fuck.
The Force Awakens was the one that I've watched the least out of the newer trilogy. I watched The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker the most out of the... The
Force Awakens was just a regurgitation of the original trilogy all in one movie. So
The Force Awakens, it was decent, but it didn't capture me like The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. But I think that's due to all of the like callbacks and references in The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Because The Last Jedi, I legitimately get teary-eyed when Luke hands Leia Han's the dice that's in the Falcon, and he kisses her on the forehead. Dude.
Okay, so that's the second time he kissed his sister, but maybe more than the second. But
it was basically like everybody got to have like their like send off to Carrie Fisher without it, like within the storyline of the movies.
All right, if we're talking about this, I'm just putting this out there. The whole bridge of the ship blows apart, and Carrie Fisher or Princess Leia is, just sent out into space, and magically somehow through the Force manages to coast her way back in.
She was a Jedi.
Out of a fucking vacuum
She was a Jedi.
A Jedi doesn't make you freaking invincible.
She used the Force
to float back in. And how did she breathe, LJ?
Because she's Carrie Fisher.
Well, she's
She's
breathing.
Princess Leia.
She ain't breathing now.
Hey now. Watch your
Like
tone.
seriously, don't like.
You watch your tone. Don't speak about our princess that way.
Dude,
Hey.
that was the worst moment in the whole. All 9 of them.
I'm not saying the movies are perfect, but I'm saying that I loved them, and everybody else that
I
says
love them too.
otherwise.
I love them
suck
too.
it.
I just, come on, guys.
I'm
Let's
just-
not get that far fetched.
Just enjoy it.
Like there are people out here trying to really build lightsabers.
Just enjoy it.
I can't enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
I'll enjoy the next 3 on
The
Rey.
new show comes out soon. Actually, I think it might be out. The Acolyte.
I'm excited for the movie on Rey.
Are they actually making that?
Yeah, they.
See, here's the
Daisy
thing.
Ridley already signed
Here's
up.
What I hated about Rise of Skywalker is when she goes, like at the end, when she goes to Tatooine and she has Luke and Leia's lightsabers and she's putting them into the sand, and some like the people say like, who are you? And she's like, Rey Skywalker, and I'm like, come on, boo!
No, dude, that was iconic. Why would she own? Why would she own the Palpatine family name?
She doesn't have to.
So what's she gonna do? Make it up?
Don't say it's Skywalker.
Rey Kenobi?
No, definitely not that. Just
Rey Yoda?
don't even give yourself a last name. Just say Rey.
The whole premise was that Luke was like her adopted father.
I understand the concept of, Leia and Luke basically like making her who she is and letting her discover who she's going to become and resist becoming part of the Sith and resisting her Palpatine, roots. But don't become a Skywalker.
Look, from the moment of the kiss with Luke and Leia, we knew that they had to have a daughter. And this is the only way you could do that without violating some laws and shit.
Surprise! Star Wars is actually just a big incest movie.
He kissed his sister.
They didn't know. And then she fell in love with Han, and they got this beautiful love story out of it.
And created the worst enemy that I would like.
I mean, I liked Kylo Ren.
It-
The thing that I liked about his character is how he became, he became a Sith, but he had that light in him that never faded away. So as soon as like something came to him and like kind of brought it to the surface, he started to have that internal struggle between light and dark. And he was just always conflicted until finally he started to like lean more towards doing the right thing, the Jedi thing, so to speak. And they killed Snoke and stuff like that. Like he righted his wrongs, and then he helped Rey at the end with Palpatine, which was sick, dude. When she hides the lightsaber behind her and transfers it to him, or is it he transfers it to her? One of the two. Oh no, it's when he's coming to her, she transfers it to him so he can fight whatever, and then he shows up and helps, and then he dies in the process. But dude, what a scene that was!
So
Anyway, before we get too far into Star Wars stuff, because I could talk about that all day, what are you picking out of the top 4?
Well, before I get there, I'm really realizing that the whole Skywalker saga is literally a big soap opera, and I'm kind of utterly disappointed by that. But,
I mean, that's basically what people call Star Wars, is a space opera.
well, yeah, it's a space opera, but like
It's so good. It's so good.
it's like the nerds' version of Days of Our Lives at this point. Like, Really, I mean, everybody's related somehow. Your friends somehow. He winds up with her. They have kids. He has kids. Your kid does this to his son, and by the time you're at the 9th movie, 21 hours in,
Oh my god,
everybody's fucking dead. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, I love it. I love Star Wars, but
That was
I think
so
that's like I had a moment there. Wedding Crashers is my choice. It is my selection. Daisy Ridley, if you're out there, dinner.
I think I'm gonna have to choose Revenge of the Sith. Just because that ending scene